You know the name, ABBA. For over 40 years, they've been one of the biggest bands in the entire world. But their latest concert, well, it's something nobody has ever seen before.
So let's just dive right into this. We're starting with a reaction from a fan who just saw ABBA live in London. And they say they weren't even a hardcore fan and they were crying. That's how good it was.
This scene plays out night after night. Thousands of fans. The energy is electric. But here's the thing. The four members of ABBA, who are now in their 70s, are nowhere in sight. So, what are people actually seeing?
Welcome to ABBA Voyage. It's this absolutely revolutionary show where digital avatars, these perfect versions of the band in their prime, perform with a live band, decades after they stopped touring for good.
To make this happen, the band actually performed in motion capture suits for 5 full weeks to create these, well, they call them avatars. But to really get how a band that broke up over 40 years ago ended up here, we need to go back, way back to the height of their fame, when things were a lot more real and a whole lot more chaotic.
All right, let's travel back in time. The year is 1977, and we're heading to Australia for ABBA's legendary tour. This is pretty much the perfect case study in what became known as ABBA Mania.
Yeah, check out this quote. That's how one observer described the sheer intensity of the crowds in Australia. I mean, the band was treated like royalty, but they were also totally besieged by fans. The adoration was so overwhelming, it was kind of menacing.
And this just brilliantly illustrates the unpredictable reality of live touring. Their first show in Sydney was, a mess. First, a massive downpour made the stage dangerously slippery. Then, Frida slipped and fell during one of the first songs. Then her wig flew off during a different part. And just when you think it can't get any weirder, the rain stops and a giant swarm of bugs descends on the stage. You can't make this stuff up. It's the total opposite of the digital perfection they have now.
But here's the thing, despite all that chaos, they completely silenced the critics. You had people saying, oh, there's no way this sugar-sweet band can reproduce their amazing recorded sound live. But they did, and the critics were just floored. They admitted that watching them pull it off was probably the most amazing part of the whole concert series.
So, as you can probably imagine, the intensity of touring just wasn't for them. That chaos in Australia pretty much sealed the deal. So, they came up with a different strategy to conquer the world. And this is the crucial part, because it's what laid the groundwork for everything that was to come. Instead of putting themselves through these grueling world tours, they did something else. They made a whole bunch of what they called promotional clips, basically early music videos, with the director Lasse Hallström. Then, they just sent those videos out to TV networks all over the world. Think about it. They reached a massive global audience without ever leaving Sweden. It was a pioneering move, and it laid the groundwork for their whole visual legacy.
So after the band split in the early 80s, they kind of faded from the charts. But they never really went away, you know? And then, in the 90s, of all times, something totally unexpected happened. A massive ABBA revival.
Now, what's really interesting is how all these different cultural moments just compounded. You had the UK band Erasure's tribute EP ABBA-esque hit #1. Then the compilation album ABBA Gold came out and became a global sensation. And on top of that, you had these incredible films, Muriel's Wedding and The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which introduced ABBA to a whole new generation. It was a perfect storm.
And a huge part of this was how the band's music and their whole, kitschy vibe were so warmly embraced by the LGBTQ+ community. Their songs became these powerful anthems in films and communities that celebrated themes of overcoming adversity and finding joy. It just gave the music a powerful new context and really cemented their status as icons.
So let's move on to the next phase, because that revival was just the spark. It's what ignited the global, multi-generational empire that we know today.
Okay, so there's this academic concept, but it's the absolute key to understanding ABBA's modern success. It's called transmedia storytelling. And all that really means is that their story wasn't just in their songs anymore. It was about to spread out across multiple channels to create one big, unified entertainment experience.
And this is the Mamma Mia universe. You've got the stage musical in '99, the blockbuster movie in 2008, the ABBA Museum, the movie sequel in 2018, even Cher's hit cover album. Each one of these projects was a new doorway into the world of ABBA, expanding their story far beyond the original albums. It's a masterclass in modern entertainment franchising.
Which brings us right back to where we started, that sold-out concert in London with a band that isn't really there.
And now we can see that this whole Voyage concert isn't a gimmick. It's the ultimate expression of a career built on transcending physical presence. Fans are quick to tell you, they are not holograms, they're avatars. And apparently, aside from a few moments where things don't look quite right, it's incredibly realistic.
So here's the crucial point. The avatars are the final step in a journey that started way back when they decided to send promo videos around the world instead of touring. They've been preparing for this for over 40 years, perfecting the art of being everywhere at once without physically being anywhere.
They've created a template for legacy artists to perform forever. They've achieved a new kind of digital immortality, which leaves us with one final provocative thought. Who's next?